Hello all, Tony here from Cart and Cloud with another one of Tony's tips. Now, I've been in the transport industry a long time, and one of the frustrations I've always had with software is trying to get small changes or trying to get custom fields in, or the little bits and pieces which we can do at Cart and Cloud which other systems can't do. And I don't know if people are using them to their full potential. Now, I talk about custom fields. Now, let me just show you. So if you go up into the search for anything and I type in custom fields, we come in where we can actually add custom fields under the address, under shipment container, and consignment data is the ones I want to talk about today. Now, in the consignment data, what we can actually do is, and it's quite common for when I go in and I bring in a new customer or I onboard a new customer or a new tenant. If we go into the consignment, I find out the details which they need in their consignment note. So for this one in here, I've come in and I do a quick ad and I do a consignment for Bob's Groceries. And I put in my reference number here. And then I've put in a custom field for a pallet type. So of course what I've got is Shep, Loscam, Plain or Mixed C instructions. I've also put in another custom field just on the pallet transaction, whether it's a transfer, an exchange, or not applicable. Also I've put in another custom field here, which is just showing the time slot. Now, these custom fields really just drive information for our fleet controllers or for the operations staff, or, so that it flags to somebody so they know there's an exchange or they know there's a transfer and they can chase up the drivers for dockets and bits and pieces. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not managing Shep here, and if you want to manage Shep, you can go to the likes of the 2IC or ShepMate, or which is now MyShep, and Shep Australia actually do a really good job in helping out anyone who's looking to manage their Shep transactions properly. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to work in with those systems so that we can actually sort of put the information and work in conjunction. So if I was to go into the custom fields, how I get this drop down for a pallet type is in the custom fields, you can see I've got one here which is pallet type. And if I go to the edit, what I've done is we've got the name, which I've called pallet type. Now the name shows up on the consignment note, and it shows up for not only your staff, but also for your customers if they're keying in their own consignments. The short name is how we can go through and we can, where we put things on placeholders or bits and pieces like that. And it's the same as the map field name down the bottom here. It actually shows up as the placeholders. Now this one, we've got the drop down field, so we can have it as an integer, as a decimal, as text. We can even have it as date time, which I'll show you in when we can go in and, for instance, I put in the time slot one. So with this one, we put it in as a drop down. Now, in the drop-down field here, the drop-down options, what we do is we just put our options in there. We don't have space and we just separate them with a comma. And of course, what then it gives us is this drop-down field here. So we can see we've got Shep, Loscam, Plain and other. Same thing as I did with the pallet transaction, which is transfer, exchange, or not applicable. And I put not applicable because some customers will go in and say, oh, well, it's neither, and they think that they have to pick something, The other one is the time slot. So when I actually click on this time slot, because I set that drop down as a date field, it actually gives me a calendar there, so I can actually get the right date. So I think that with a little bit of information which you can get from our knowledge base, I think that you can come up with, and anybody can go, any administrator can go into these custom fields, and you can do it for the addresses or on run sheets or whatever it may be. But I think it's a very powerful tool which we give you guys access to, but a lot of people don't use it to their full potential. But anyway, if you want to find out anything more about custom fields or you want a hand to set anything up, please get in contact with us, let us know, and we can go through and have a look at the system and make sure that you're getting the most out of it. Thank you.